This is SGTV Podcast. I'm Luke Baker. My fourth guest in Meet the High Teresa Cruise series is Deonica Thomas. I sat down and talked with her about her family, her involvement in the Residence Hall Association, helping with dance at USC, and producing a documentary for SGTV. Thank you for joining me, Dee Dee.
Hello.
So first off, tell me where you're from.
I am from Union, South Carolina. It's upstate.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's up there.
All the way up there?
Mm-hmm.
It's not too far away, but...
Yeah, it's probably about an hour and a half away, so it's far enough. It's far away so I can, hide from my mom, but if I need her, she can come and get me. Yeah.
You mentioned your mom there. How would you describe your parents?
My parents, it's pretty interesting. My mom and my dad were never together, but I never noticed it. I still don't notice it. So it's it doesn't really affect me. Like some people are like, oh, my parents not together, man. I'm just like, my mom's my mom and my dad's my dad, and they're both interesting characters, but I love them dearly. Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. Daddy.
Yeah. Do you have any brothers and sisters?
Yes, I have an older sister, Kim. She's about 17 years apart from me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So a lot older sister.
Uh-huh. I was a surprise. A happy surprise. And she's in the military.
Okay, so she travels a lot.
Mm-hmm. She moves every 2 to 3 years. And she has a son and a daughter. So an aunt.
That's cool. Did you ever have any family traditions growing up, or stuff that you maybe continue today, or when you go home?
I guess Christmas time. My mom she loves Christmas tree, so I always make it a big deal that we decorate the tree, and it never matches. It's just filled with all kinds of ornaments from years, and it's just it doesn't look tacky, but it looks beautiful, but it's not like the ones you see in the books, in the magazines.
Well, I mean, it's your own.
Yeah, it's our own. It's homey. Yeah. But yeah, Christmas tree decorating is a big thing.
You have any funny stories your family ever tells about you?
About me. I would say I think it's funny is when I was little, I didn't do anything. I just sat there and stared at everyone. They called me like a doll because I didn't want to cause any trouble, so I didn't really care about anything. So I never got whoopings or anything. But the one time my room was white, I had a white bedroom, and somehow I got in contact with some blue fingernail polish. And let's just say I had a blue room, and then I got in a lot of trouble. And then I just stopped doing things after that because I didn't want to go through it anymore. So yeah, I think it was funny.
What are some of your pet peeves? I'm always curious of what just, ticks you off.
Mean people. I hate mean people. Especially, we all have bad days. But when you have a bad day and you take it out on me, I hate that so much. I didn't do that to you. I didn't give you this job. I didn't tell you that mean thing. So why are you having an attitude with me? I'm sorry. So I go out of my way to make sure if I'm having a bad day that I don't take it out on other people. And bone cracking. I hate people crack their bones. Makes me sick.
So how did you choose USC, or how did you decide to come here?
It was really random. I just chose 3 schools, and I got accepted into all of them, but USC, I just ended up going to USC. I'm really not sure how I made the decision to go to USC. I didn't even really look into colleges. I guess it was just meant to be. It was kind of weird. I visited on accepted student day, and I didn't even look at any other schools.
You just decided this is the one?
Yeah, this is the one. It was far enough.
What was your first experience leaving home like? Was it scary? Was it just you kind of just clicked so fast, or a little time adjusting?
It didn't hit me until my mom and my aunt closed the door of my dorm room, and then when they drove away. I like looked out the window and I saw the car drive away, and I was like, crap, they're not coming back for me. And then I looked around my room, and I looked at my roommate, and I didn't know who she was, and she didn't know who I was. And I looked at my hallway and all these new faces. And yeah, it was scary, but I was okay with it because I knew that this was going to happen, and I was okay with the fact of not knowing what was coming next.
What are your majors or minors that you have?
I'm a broadcast journalism major, and I was a theater minor until about 2 days ago when I just become a theater cognate because I wasn't going to take 6 classes for the next 2 semesters because I didn't want to. And he was just like, well, you can just make it your cognate. And I was like, okay, we'll make it a cognate because I'm pretty sure they're not going to give me or take away my job because I'm not a theater minor. I'm just going to tell them I was a cognate and I took a lot of classes. So, yeah.
What do you think has been your most important class you've taken here? Or like the most that you felt like you got out or you learned the most or you enjoyed?
I would say my intermediate acting class. It was really rewarding when I learned all of my lines and I performed my monologue in front of everyone. And when I got to the point where when I wasn't super nervous and I just knew my lines and I just threw them out at everybody. I don't know. That was the most rewarding, most important to me because I kind of got over just thinking about what other people thought and just did what I had to do. And I think that was a class where I learned where other people's opinions and thoughts didn't really matter. What mattered was I had a task and I had to do it and I did it and it was over. So, yeah.
Now, what do you think your most important lesson or life lesson that you've learned is like outside of the classroom or while you've been in college?
I guess it would go kind of with what I learned in my acting class. Well, not learned in my acting class, but like learned in life is to really not care what other people think. Because people think all the time. I think all the time. But I'm pretty sure when I'm thinking about people, they are never going to hear it. So why should I care about what other people think unless they actually do something about it? So if there's something that I want to do and I might be embarrassed or I might be scared or I might think, oh crap, what are they going to think about me? I have to remind myself just not to care because life's too short to really give a flip about what other people think about you.
Yeah, that's good advice.
It's too short.
Now tell me, what was the biggest mistake you've made in college?
Biggest mistake? I don't think it's a mistake. I don't know. Biggest mistake. Freshman year, I put a lot of time and effort into an organization. I was in an organization, I put a lot of time into it, and I cared too much about what happened, and I was like afraid if I missed a day, and it took a lot of out of me emotionally, and it came to one point where I was just like, I'm in school to go to class, not to necessarily do this extracurricular activity, and if it's causing me to be unhappy, why am I still in it? So my mistake was I spent too much time in that one organization. Or I could say with people and friends, freshman year you want to make friends and you don't necessarily know how to, so you get to a point where you chase people and you go out of your way to hang out with them. A mistake was I spent too much time chasing people and going out of my way to hang with people and to make them know that I'm their friend, but they weren't necessarily showing me that they were my friend. So yeah, those are my mistakes, but hopefully I'm still learning from them, and yeah, those mistakes.
How do you think you've changed personally?
There are people from my high school that actually go here, and there's this guy who actually told me that I was more open. I guess in high school I was pretty close-minded. I did the right thing, I said the right thing, I minded my own business, and I didn't really go out of the way. But in college, I've been more open, and I've said yes to things that I probably would have never said yes to. As in, I was actually a background dancer for a drag queen in Birdcage. We did a 17-minute Beyonce halftime show. In heels, a leotard, fishnet stockings. I would have never done that in high school. I don't think my mom would have allowed me. But here, I had to make my own decision, and somebody offered me an opportunity, and I was just like, yeah. So I'm more open, more accepting, and yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So I know you talked about a little bit of dance here. I know you're pretty heavily involved with, I guess, the dance program and classes. Can you tell me like a little bit what you do with that? Probably take classes, but you also TA for one of them, or you kind of help out?
I used to do a lot more dancing my freshman and I guess sophomore year, but now I'm just like more laid back with it. I work with it now. I work at the USC dance program where minors and majors go to learn. I'm a TA for dance appreciation. That's just people just take the class to learn the history of dance and I like grade papers, take attendance and stuff. And I am the assistant to, well, not necessarily the assistant, but I help the director of student showcases coming up, and I'm also the costume coordinator for the upcoming showcase. So I do like minor seamstress work, and I order costumes, and I help people get their costume stuff together before the upcoming show. So I do a lot within dance behind the scenes.
More of the production aspect of the whole.
Yeah, I don't necessarily dance, but all my friends dance. Yeah.
Now, I know you're pretty heavily involved with Resident Hall Association. How did you get started with it?
RHA, oh yeah. Freshman year, once again, that time when you got to figure out what in the world am I going to do and how am I going to make friends. And my RM was telling us about it and how she was vice president of her residence hall and telling us that we should get involved. And I wanted to get involved. People always say that people change in college, but I kind of forgot to change, and I was an overachiever in high school, and I just became the overachiever in college as well. So I ran for president of South Tower, the building I was living in, and I actually got it. And then I ran for the executive board at the end of that term, and then I got it, Central Campus Liaison, and now this is my second year being Central Campus Liaison on the executive board of RHA. Yeah.
So, like, what involves, like, what's your role as a Central Campus Liaison?
My role is to be a resource to the Central Campus Hall governments and to help them with their funds. They have money, and their money, they're supposed to use it to promote community within their community. So I'm supposed to be, like, their resource. I'm supposed to be there to help them if they have any questions, how to get things together. But Central Campus is pretty good. They can pretty much run themselves, but I'm there for them if they ever need me. And I report what's going on to the executive board like every week.
So what would be your ideal job after college?
My ideal job? A mixture between Oprah and Tyler Perry. But I don't think that job exists, so I'm going to have to create it. Yeah.
So you want to
be
the
Today Show.
You want to be a talk.
I want to influence people through media in some way, shape, or form. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you want to be a personality.
I mean, I could be a personality, but I wouldn't mind being behind the scenes as well, and just being that mastermind that nobody really knows, but you just see my name like pop up like in the credits, and you just like you see my name everywhere, but you don't really know what it look like or what I do. So whatever, either side, I just want to bring some positivity back to media. It's pretty negative right now.
So what do you like best about your life so far?
I like the fact that I'm actually doing something with my life. It's not perfect. It's far from perfect. I have more bad days than good days, it seems like sometimes, but I'm actually doing something. I could have been like a lot of people from my hometown. I could have stayed at home. I could have just got a job and never even went to college and took the easy way out. But I put myself out there, and I left home, I left the nest, went to college. I'm doing things. I'm in organizations. I'm somewhat making my mark, trying to make a change, and I'm getting there. Hopefully by senior year, I'll just be at this really cool place that I can leave and then go into the real world and start from the bottom and work my way back up. That's pretty much what's going to happen. They're not going to care what I did in college. They'll be like, okay, print these papers. Copy this.
How has your life been different than you imagined?
I didn't really imagine anything. It was just a blank page, and I was okay with it being a blank page. I knew I was going to go to college. I knew that I would probably make friends. I know that I would go to classes, but I didn't really know what I was going to fill it up with. So I didn't really imagine anything. I just went with it.
Yeah. You just kind of threw against the wall, see what stuck.
Yeah, just open the door and walk into the dark room and see what happens.
Yeah,
I didn't really imagine what's in the room. I just walked in there.
So, I guess moving on to SGTV,
okay.
How'd you get started with it?
I really don't remember. I just one day ended up being in SGTV and got trained, and I was in it. I started my sophomore year. I don't really remember anything. I guess Hi Teresa was my first thing that I got involved with. I knew that I was in broadcast. I needed to join SGTV. Like, A plus B equals C. I guess not really. Anyway.
So you just kind of just showed up and you're like, all right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, I'm going to do this. I need to be a part of this. This has something to do with my major. I need to be in an organization. So, went through training, and we actually had I don't know what it was called, but it was a day where the producers of all of the shows were on the horseshoe, and we got to go around to each of the producers, and they explained what their shows were about. And I remember Sarah talking about Hi Teresa, and I actually thought that Hi Teresa was a show that was already made. So I ran home and I started looking on YouTube trying to find this show, and I was like, crap, I can't find it. I'm gonna go to this meeting and not gonna have anything to put in. So then when I got to the meeting, everybody was talking about Rick and Teresa, and I was like, crap, I don't know who these people are. I couldn't find the video. I think I actually said, y'all, I can't find this video, and it was like, oh, we haven't even made it yet. And I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Well, this is what Rick should do.
Yeah, so you helped in the creation of the show.
A
little, or you added.
I was there.
Dialogue,
yeah. I don't really help create the beginning of it, but I was there. And they were like, "You want to be Terry?" I was like, "Yeah, sure."
So I guess that's how you got the role of Terry.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, hey, you
right
should
place,
be
right
Terry.
time.
And how have you liked playing that character? Is it something that you connect to, or is it just kind of another character in your own mind?
I feel as though Terry is a part of me. She's a girl who says what's on her mind and gives zero cares about what other people think. She was supposed to be on her phone a lot, and she was on her phone a lot, but I'm on my phone a lot, so it wasn't really much of a difference. I just pulled up, like, most of the time when you see me on my phone on the show, I'm actually on my phone playing Candy Crush. Because it's a necessity. I need to play Candy Crush. It helps my nerves.
That's cool. Now, has there been any, like, funny stories that you can tell me from the set? I know other people, it's just, like, any instances where you're just like, I mean, obviously you probably do a lot of, there's some, goofing around, or some scene that you just couldn't get down because it was.
Let me think. A funny story from set. I feel like every filming there's a funny story because we're a bunch of goofballs. I remember the first day we laughed a lot, but we weren't as comfortable with each other because we didn't really know each other. But if you go to like a recent filming, we hardly get through anything because we're laughing or we're joking because we're so comfortable with each other. It's usually just me yelling at Jake the entire time. So I guess that's the funny story. I'm always yelling at him. And
now I can't tell. Are you guys are you going off each
we're
other's
serious.
ego, or you're serious?
We're serious when we argue with each. I don't know. I'm serious. When he pisses me off, I just go off on him. And he just takes it and he says something unnecessary. So that's what happens. There's not a film day unless he's like having one of his moods.
Yeah.
And you have to like give him some chocolate or something so he's okay. You gotta pet his back, pet his head. like a puppy, and then he's okay. But most of the time, like, he's okay.
What do you think the best part's been working with Hi Teresa?
The best part, I think, is amazing how a group of college students with busy schedules have gotten together and put on this show, this script, this narrative, the story. I mean, it's not perfect. Nothing's perfect, but the fact that we all got together and put this together, I feel like that's the best part of it. It's actually been done. We're actually doing it. I don't know if SGTV has ever done anything like this.
And
but
other colleges too. Like,
yeah, and
outside of like obviously film school or something.
Yeah,
not a lot of people get a chance to actually run a full, television series production.
Yeah, like, this is what, our 3rd season? Like, who does that? My resume, they're gonna be like, your 3rd season of what? I'm like, Hi Teresa. Pull up YouTube, show them the videos, impress them, flip my hair. That's what's gonna happen. And then they're gonna tell me to copy papers.
You're like, good job.
Good job, but you're starting from the bottom, right?
What's the series finale gonna be like for you?
Mushy yet emotional, probably. But I can't cry at the right moments. When people cry around me, I just get freaked out and stare at them, be like, "Oh, you're sad, okay." And then when I go to my room, I bawl out and just fall on the ground, be like, "What? Why does it have to end?" But yeah, so everybody's gonna be like in their feelings. Somebody's gonna cry. Like 3 people already know my heel's gonna cry.
You already know.
I already know who's gonna cry. I'm just gonna look at them like, don't. Yep, there you go. There you go. She's gonna cry. Jake probably gonna cry. Yeah, everybody's just gonna cry. I need to stop doing him like that. But yeah, it's gonna be emotional, but it's gonna be refreshing in a way because we have put a lot into this show. And it's going to be a bittersweet moment. It's like, oh, it's over with, but all good things come to an end. I like how we ended it while it was still fresh and not ended it when we were just like, we didn't end it because we had to. We ended it because we wanted to. Because it's solid. It's good. It's going to have a great ending. If we would have tried to drag it out for 2 more years, then we wouldn't love it anymore. But the fact that we're just like stopping it at the right moment and we're going to just move on to something probably even better, or maybe not even better because you can't really get better than the original. But yeah.
Now, since the show is ending, obviously they're going to start working on creating a new show. Mm-hmm. What do you think your involvement's going to be in? Do you want to act? Do you want to help out with production more?
I don't know. I have a few ideas I want to pitch. I pitch ideas with the script for throughout the seasons of Hi Teresa, but I mean, I have a few ideas. I have things up my sleeve, but I don't know how the majority is going to feel about my ideas. Being modest, they're probably going to love it, and then I'm just going to rule SGTV JK. I don't know. I have some ideas. I'll pitch them.
Now, can you tell me about your documentary that you made? And this was
last spring. It was like the day after finals. Yeah. Like the day of finals. Like I had a final and I was finishing the documentary, so I was studying and editing at the same time. It was tragic.
So can you tell me about the documentary? What was it about, and how did you decide, like, I'm going to do a documentary?
God tapped me on my shoulder and he was just like, Dee, you need to do this. Because it was the 50th year of desegregation at the school, and there was all of this talk about it and all these events, and I didn't really see anything from the students' point of view about it because 50 years is not that long ago. So 50 years ago, I would not be able to come to the school because of what I looked like, and I thought that was crazy, and I didn't think a lot of people our age appreciated that because we take our rights for granted. It's like Obama's president, and I can sit wherever I want to, and I can do whatever I want, so why do we even care about the past? And, I mean, I kind of understand, but I don't understand, and I just wanted to appreciate the past a little bit and, like, do my part to use my talent to thank the people who did this for us. So, it just, I don't know why I did it. I did it just because I wanted to. Nobody told me to do it. It wasn't for a project. It was just an idea that I had, and I just had a strong feeling. So I went to the station manager at the time. Paul was the station manager at the time, and I was just like, this is what I want to do. I want to do a documentary about the desegregation of USC. It was my first project. I wasn't even sure what a camera was. I did not know how to edit until I was done filming. It's terrible. But I was determined to do it. When I'm determined to do something, I do it. And a lot of people look at me like, well, what is she doing? You can't do this. I did it. Anyway. And, yeah, I told him I wanted to do it. And he's like, can you do it? I was like, yeah. And then it took me about a semester and a half. It took me forever to finish it. I thought it would take me like a month to do. But I had to get interviews, and I had to find people. And I actually got in contact with the film library that we have here. We have a pretty cool film library here, and they gave me footage. They gave me access to footage from the 1960s in Colombia. So there's actually footage of people marching in the streets of Colombia in the 60s, and there's footage of a sit-in in one of the places in Colombia, and you can actually see like the waitress like pulling everything away from them. And there's even an interview from the woman who the one of the first ladies, like the woman, her interview on her front porch, they were asking her, like, you're about to go to USC, how do you feel? And she's telling them about it on her front porch before she even comes. So I thought it was pretty cool that I got to put that into my documentary. And I also, like, interviewed students and faculty, and I even interviewed the first African-American elected student body president, Harry Walker. I somehow found him at this alumni event, and I asked him to do an interview with me, and he said yeah, and he was really nice, and he really wanted to help and really wanted to put his input into it, and it was great. And somehow I did it. I had an exam. I was going home the next day. I was in here at like 3 o'clock in the morning editing away, and then I just finished, and I was just done. And now I'm just like doing things with it, because I mean, I need to do something with it, so I might put it in a few things and see what happens.
Yeah, I think you said you submitted to a
some type of
festival.
Yeah,
like a documentary festival.
No, it's not a doc. I think it's just a movie or just student video festival thing, and I put it in there. Michael told me about it, so I edited it down to 10 minutes. It was 19 minutes, and I edited it down to 10 minutes. I don't know how I did it. I just be doing things I don't know how I do. I just do it. And so yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't care if I win or not. I'm just glad I did it. I put it in there. That's what I want to do. I want to just do things and not really, I don't do it to win. I don't do it for like recognition. I do it just to say that I did it. And now I'm working on my second documentary, and it goes along with dance, because I'm surrounded by it, so why not do something with it? So they have a student showcase coming up, and and the show is about cancer victims and survivors, and each choreographer has to do a dance dedicated to something cancer related. So I'm actually like following a student and his story and how he's telling it through dance, and it's pretty interesting. So we'll see what comes out of that. It probably is going to be a future story, maybe not necessarily a documentary. We'll see.
Got some big plans ahead of you there.
Yeah. And then next year I'll take over the world.
So my final question for you is, what do you plan on your future at SGTV? Like,
I want to be a producer. I want to produce something. I want something that's like my own. I want room access. I hate that. I hate having projects and then I come here and then nobody's around and I have to like wait for somebody to come and open the door. When I can open the door on my own at 2 o'clock in the morning, well, not 2 o'clock, but 9 o'clock, then I have made it. I have become somebody. I have room access.
that's gonna be your peak, and then it's all downhill from there.
Yeah, I want my own show. I want to be like in charge. So I like being in charge.
You want to do like your own, like make an own program? Or you want to do like a segment on one of the other shows?
No, I want my own. I don't want to be producer. Deonica Thomas. so I put it on my resume. They be like, what? I'm like, yeah. And flip my hair again. And then they don't hire me because I flip my hair too much.
Then you go back to copying.
Yeah, then I just copy papers.
Well, I appreciate you coming, sitting down to talk for me. It's been an enlightening experience.
Enlightening. Have I changed your life?
Maybe.
Okay, cool. Welcome to Terry's Tips. I'm Terry. And I'm going to give you guys advice on how to succeed in life.